My name is Kevin. My business is S3 Suspension. We specialize in track-oriented or even street-oriented suspension shocks, particularly for multiple applications. So S3 stands for Simple Suspension Solutions. As far as the name and how I came up with it, just trying to keep it realistic. It's a solution for my customers and my guests. It's suspension related, and I'm trying to keep it simple for them. We opened 2020, roughly right around that. I had been playing around with suspension for, multiple years, 10 years, and it was kind of just like a hobby. I have a really good friend, and we enjoyed suspension tuning. And a lot of my friends said, hey, why don't you have a company? It's like, you're already doing it. You do it on your free time. It's like, why don't you make a business out of it? It could be something that, could be successful. So, in the middle of the night, we're literally at my house one day. It was like, you know what, let's just do it. So I don't have an engineering background. It was just more of trial and error. How can you get the car to perform better with the suspension, that was available then? How can you make it better? And it was more just playing around with it and saying, you know what, I do enjoy playing around with this. In the beginning, where do we start? Where do we end up at? Did we get, go faster at track times? Did the car handle better? It was just that enjoyment. And for me, back in the day, I didn't have a lot of money, so I'm driving a single cam Civic around that's not going very fast in a straight line, right? So what can I enjoy the car for? Which ended up being suspension tuning, doing canyon runs back in the day and things like that. So. We're smaller, I would say, company compared to a lot of people or suspension companies that have been around. We're not this huge, massive manufacturer with a huge, ginormous building. But the main difference is, I would say, is, one of the goals I had when I started this company was, number one, to provide great customer service, which I know there's a lot of companies out there, and feedback from people like saying, hey man, thanks for the fast response rate. Thanks for getting me back so fast. And, I really in pride and enjoy on that part, number one. Number two, I didn't want to have a product where it was put your model in, select suspension or, coilovers, and then it has one option. I didn't want to be necessarily known for an off-the-shelf brand. So it's more of a fine-tuned or tailored suspension setup for each person, right? Even though we have 3 recommended setups, there's a lot of R&D and track time that has made us get to those 3 recommended setups for most applications, right? And really with our shock theory as well, there's a lot of different bits and pieces to that. It started as, a track-oriented suspension company. That was a priority. I'm a track guy, right? And I was going to the track. Then it was, hey, can I build something for street guys? They just daily drive their car, or maybe even someone that just daily drives their cars and does the weekend spirited driving or even going to the track. So that's hence how it kind of got there. So target audience was Hondas, of course. I've been driving Honda since I was 16. It's my first car. I still drive them now. All the testing and R&Ding into, prior to the company and, just enjoying the hobby was all on Hondas. There's a lot of different data that you can use on any car and kind of transfer it over, and then it kind of gives you a starting point. There's always measurements and things like that. So it was always a Hondas, and then I branched off into Toyotas. I decided to get a Toyota MR2 Spider and do a K28 Type R swap, true to my Honda love there, and that kind of started the Toyota applications. But since we started, we've done Nissans, Infinitis, Lexus, Hyundais, Kias, Mazdas, BMWs, smaller application list, but it keeps growing. So we don't offer installation. We do have a shop here in Fullerton. However, we only use it for active R&D for new applications. So we'll do a test install on these cars and things like that, but we don't offer open to installations, I should say. Info on our products, you can check out our website. It's www.s3suspension.com. We also have an IG page, which is @S3Suspension. Those are typically going to get you your most info. There's a few YouTube videos out there from a couple people that have used our product or have done reviews, so you can check those out if you'd like as well. And we'll be planning to post more YouTube videos actively from us as well to get you guys more info